Brandon Tatum was on Piers Morgan Uncensored yet again. I actually don't understand why Brandon Tatum goes on Piers Morgan, but that's his choice nonetheless, because Piers Morgan is, well, in simple terms, as you guys are fully aware, a dingbat. But nevertheless, he is a very well known dingbat and gets a lot of clicks and a lot of views. And he's like the shock jock, very much like Candace Owens, and he knows what he's doing. Same with Tucker Carlson as well. They both know what they're doing, right? And they've been doing it for quite some time. They know how to get audience capture, audience attention. We're going to create drama. We're going to say a very provocative thing. We're going to cause controversy, you name it. I've gone through it a number of times. Now, Brandon Tatum, I love his take on many, many things. I think he's a very wise man, especially when it comes down to the Israel topic. Now, recently, Brandon Tatum utterly destroys Nordine Kiswani, who is a Islamist Hamas propagandist. Crazy, right? Because she is in the peace and comfort of wherever she is, not in Gaza at the moment, but she's in the comfort of away from Gaza, and yet she wants to label Hamas a resistance group. I've been seeing a lot of that recently. People going now, well, Hamas is a resistance group, guys. Why in the world we need to demilitarize a resistance group? Trump came out today and said that if Hamas doesn't demilitarize itself, then America will do it for them. And they know that Trump ain't joking, so they better do it fairly quickly. Otherwise, it's not going to look good for Hamas. But nevertheless, the whole ceasefire now crowd are very, very silent when there is actually a ceasefire. You know why? They were the whole ceasefire crowd to begin with. They're making money. Some people, believe it or not, have made their career on bashing Israel and being, we need a ceasefire now. We're going to go protest, right? Now, Nadine, I believe that's how you say her name. I don't really care because I don't like Hamas propagandists with smoking something that's not right. She was all about, we need a ceasefire, we need this, but it's not really about that, is that? Is it? It's more about get rid of Israel, just have Hamas and the Palestinian people. Let's just have that. Israel doesn't deserve to exist. Where are we going to put them? Nowhere. We're going to obliterate them. So when Hamas comes in and tries to obliterate Israelis, that's somehow acceptable. But when Israel knocks their socks off and obliterates them, that's bad. Even though one in their founding charter says that they are a terrorist organization hell-bent on wiping out Israel. I mean, the countries recognize the fact that they are a terrorist organization, but I think they do too. And I really think they care. But anyway, have a watch of Brandon Tatum go off on this woman. It's brilliant.
What Hamas did on October the 7th was justified.
You constantly ask me this question every time I come on your show as some sort of gotcha. You know, I think that repression and oppression breeds resistance. I'm not living at the opposite end of a barrel of an Israeli gun. I'm not having my home destroyed to rubble. So I'm not going to tell people that have constantly faced this prior to October 7, 2023, that, you know, resisting it is wrong or how they resisted is wrong. That's not my place.
A terror attack is not resistance. It's a terror attack.
Pierce, this is clear. This young lady is a propagandist.
How should have Israel
She does
responded
not
to
have
October
common
7th?
sense, and
I'm asking you, Piers, now. How should Palestinians respond to 75 years of displacement? For over 20 years.
That's 75 years of displacement.
It's not just a few months. Okay, it's funny. You're such a hypocrite. You're talking about me interrupting you, and now you're constantly interrupting me. Piers,
okay, because it's getting crazy what you're saying.
To constant incursions on Gaza, to the destruction of refugee camps in the West Bank, to the denial of the right of return, to countless war crimes. How should have Palestinians responded to that?
Well, my answer is that committing a attack of that magnitude is never ever resistance or defensible.
What's the answer? So how should they resist?
Well, no,
you're just saying what they shouldn't do.
I'm making the point that an act of terrorism is never the correct response, ever.
So what's the correct response?
Let me bring Brandon in here. Brandon.
Okay, you can't answer the question that you tried to ask me.
I want everybody to get a chance. This young lady is clearly a propagandist. She will not deny or will not say that Hamas is a terrorist organization and they killed innocent people. And then she want Hamas to be fighting and killing innocent people. And then when Israel come back and whoop their socks off, she act like it's a genocide. They haven't been committing a genocide. I don't know what world you live in or any other person that's living in that think this is a genocide. You don't feed people in a
international organization.
The population doesn't grow during the genocide. 75 years, the population has grown. What are you saying? Are you guys smoking or what?
What she wants is, well, what I've been saying for quite some time, what she wants is the total destruction of Israel. So their whole play on this is to say, oh, what about the 75 years of oppression, ever since 1945 or 1946, when Israel was given a state. It was recognized as a state, right? They were given their rightful homeland back. But of course, these dingbats don't see it like that at all. And apparently, Israel was welcomed in with open arms from the Palestinian people at the time. And, Israel decided to, cause problems. It wasn't the Palestinian people. It was the Israelis. The Israelis are at fault for pretty much everything. But, if you look at the Bible, you know that the homeland that the Palestinians currently occupy at the moment, that's rightfully Israel's. But this whole 75 years of oppression, they're going to rise up and resist, is an actual joke. It's retarded, is what it is. It's ridiculous to say that, Israel was occupying them for 75 years when they withdrew in 2005, first and foremost. And also, you got to go all the way back and look at who started what? Who was responsible for what? And even then, right, Israel has a right to their homeland. It's in the Bible. That doesn't mean that they were occupying or repressing or oppressing these people. I think people need to learn their history. But the problem is with Nadine is she's been given one side of the history and then it somehow cancels out the other side of the history. It's like the Palestinian cause is the right cause. We're going to follow that and only that. Can't look at real history and see what real history actually has recorded for all of us. And even though real history has recorded that it's actually the Israelis' rightful homeland, promised by God to Abraham in the first place. Now, yes, of course, Israel disobeyed God. They didn't follow God's instructions. And so now they're paying the consequences for that. But the thing is, you've got people like Nadine that go, well, what do you want to do under oppression? 75 years of oppression. They rose up and they resisted. No. When you rise up and you resist something, you don't go out and commit terrorist attacks. Or you commit October 7th, for example. You don't go do that. But of course, Nadine is like, well, what would you have them do? Sit back and Israel wasn't even there. How in the world were they even oppressing them? These people created the problem for themselves when Hamas came into power. So if anything, you want to go, they should have been resisting the actual oppressor, Hamas, the Palestinian people. But what we saw on October 7th was the Palestinian people in the streets celebrating the death of Israelis. Let that sink in. Do you see the Israelis celebrating Palestinian people's death in the streets every single weekend? No. See, Nadine is a clear victim of propaganda. And now she is inciting that propaganda for the whole bloody world to see. And it's sick. I think Brandon Tatum is right. She's on the wrong side. She clearly is. I don't know why Piers Morgan loves to have her on. And he always seems to ask the same kind of got you question. Do you condemn October 7th? And obviously these people are like, well, I've had a little bit of an opportunity to think about this. And I know he's going to ask it. So now I know what I'm going to say. I already know how it looks. I'm not dumb. But I think we should all respond with how Brandon Tatum responded to it. Tell the truth. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.